mindset about dress where you want to be.
That's when you need to start adjusting your diet. You start adjusting your eating habits or exercise.
Welcome to Let's Talk About It with your agent Ayana, the podcast where we unpack everything from insurance essentials to the secrets of wellness, business insights, and the thrilling journey of entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Ayana, your friendly State Farm agent. I'm here to guide you through the often mysterious but always fascinating realms of life, coverage, and success. So buckle up, subscribe, and get ready to dive into conversations that matter. This is where we talk insurance, health, business, and everything in between. Let's talk about it. Today, I'm thrilled to introduce you to DeBraisha Hale, an inspiring entrepreneur with a remarkable journey. DeBraisha is a published author, a multi-six-figure earner, motivational speaker, and an elite A-lister, hailing from Ohio and alumna of Alabama State University. She discovered her passion for education before delving into network marketing. Join us as we delve into her story and gain invaluable insights. Welcome, DeBraisha.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
I'm so excited to have you here, DeBraisha. Okay, so audience, DeBraisha is one of the sweetest people I know. Not only is she a caring mother, a strong businesswoman, she's so extremely positive. And I don't know how she does it all the time. So, anywho, without further ado, thank you so much for joining us today, DeBraisha. I really appreciate you coming in and meeting with me, talking to me, and sharing your story with our audience.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be here. I feel good. And of course, it's always good to see you, Sister Ayana.
Oh, yes.
Always beautiful.
This diva is not only an author, she's a bling queen, and she's a real estate agent. She wears so many freaking hats. It's crazy. And she holds it down with so much, what is the word I'm looking for?
Grace.
There it is.
There it is. Whoop, there it is.
There it is. Grace, yes. So, again, thank you, DeBraisha.
Thank you.
So, DeBraisha is here to talk about entrepreneurship. And with your journey through entrepreneurship, can you share with the audience some of the principles that have helped you become successful as an entrepreneur and helped you to remain resilient?
Yes.
Through challenges and ups and downs.
Yes. First and foremost, I'm going to start off with the foundation of prayer. That was always taught to me as a little girl, going to church on Sundays with my family and praying with my family. I think it's so important that all entrepreneurs, whether you're a businesswoman and in your personal life, that you have a prayer life.
Ooh, yes,
because
absolutely.
You're going to come into some stumbling blocks. And absolutely. A lot of times, we get excited about the highs, but we also need to be thankful for the lows because
absolutely.
We know that they're going to come. You live long enough, you know how things take place. So
right.
It's the same thing as being an entrepreneur. The longer you're in it, you're going to go through highs and lows. But for me, having a solid foundation of prayer keeps me grounded and lets me know where my help and my strength come. It comes from God.
Absolutely.
So prayer is always first for me.
Yes.
Business and my personal life. Next, this was something I learned backwards, okay? Because I'm a former educator of 17 years, so I just didn't grow up being an entrepreneur. However, I have learned backwards, and I can appreciate that through reflection because there were some things that I did not do starting off this journey. But I learned to do them. One thing I would tell everybody is set boundaries. Set boundaries for your personal life and your business life.
Absolutely.
When you're working a 9 to 5, you're used to in that office from 9 to 5. So after that, they're gonna catch you the next day when 9 o'clock hits. You may be there before or after, but that's your time. It's the same thing being an entrepreneur. Set some limitations and some boundaries so that you're not accessible 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Right.
That's not realistic. And also, you still need to have your me time, your quiet time, your time to think, your time to eat, your time to pray. And when I was younger, I could bypass those things. Being that I'm a little bit older and a little bit wiser, I need to eat because I have to fuel up. Prayer is only one type of fuel for me. Yes. Food is another type of fuel that I need to make it through the day, that I need so my brain can function as well. Mm-hmm. So now I understand that if these are my work hours, these are my hours. Just being so excited and not understanding limitations and boundaries, walking into that journey. And I can remember being fearful, honestly, being fearful to leave my position as a school counselor because I didn't know anything else. And I said, okay, when I get ready to leave, what does this look like? Had I set boundaries then, when I came off, I would have continued to flow that same way. When emergencies happen, if you already have those boundaries, you're going to continue to flow in those boundaries. That way, when they come, they already know how you operate. So now I have to go backwards and teach my team and teach clients and stuff. This is how I operate. This is my time. These are the times that I'm available to help and to assist you. So I think that's very important. And looking within, I think a lot of times, and I'm going to say this because social media has taken such it's just a large part of our world. Whereas growing up, we didn't have social media.
Right.
And we had cell phones up until a certain age for me as well. But I'm grateful for that because I feel like that kept us grounded. It kept us sociable as far as people and just, the human touch. But I look within. DeBraisha, how do you feel about this? Do you like this? Do you feel uneasy? Are you ready to move this way? I don't look for my motivation on the outside. It comes from in on the outside because I know that one day I may wake up and say, oh, her post didn't motivate me today. But it's not her job to motivate DeBraisha. It's for DeBraisha to get up, look within through prayer and motivate herself. Because one day, like I said, it's not going to do it. So just being in touch with your inner self and what you believe and knowing what you want in life, even if that changes, is a big deal for me. Not looking to social media to get me up every morning. I pop lock, y'all, I dance.
Yes, you do. Yes,
getting to those, doing the things that I love to do and make DeBraisha happy is what really matters to me in this journey because it's not an easy journey.
Absolutely. Yes. And you stated that this is not an easy journey. Will you share some of the challenges that you've gone through throughout your journey of entrepreneurship? Yes.
Well, for one...
And let me ask you this. What helped you remain resilient?
So for me, I'm a mother, so I already feel like I wear a lot of hats, and I believe that most women do. We may be a mother, a wife, a best friend, we may be in a sorority, we may be that church member, we may be, okay, she better say that. We may be that go-to person in our family, we may be like a financial advisor to some of our friends and family, so we wear a lot of hats. My baby, I have 2 beautiful girls, but they are at that age where they're very busy, so we're doing Girl Scouts and we're doing acting. My 7-year-old is autistic, so we do lots of therapy. Of course, that's challenging some days to my schedule because I may need to be here. So family, I'm so grateful for my husband and my parents because without them, I would not be able to do the things that I do, Ayana. And I'm just, when I tell you I would not be able to, because some days I am spread thin with my appointments or my clients.
Right.
So I think it's just very important that if you can, lean on your family if that is an option. That's not an option for everybody, but I am truly blessed to have that. Another thing is sometimes when God begins to elevate you, your circle changes. Your circle changes and sometimes you don't understand why.
Right.
What I have learned is that people come and go in seasons. Some people gonna be there forever, and some people are only come in your life for a season.
Right.
Recognize that person may have only been here for that season.
Right.
Do not be scared to grow.
Right.
I'm a goal-getter by nature.
Yes.
And I love being a go-getter, but sometimes I be like, I wish I wasn't so much of a go-getter because I don't know how to give up on things. When it's something I want, I'm passionate about it. So I'm going full force, whether the right and the left is going with me, whether I have to stand alone. So you have to understand that number one, what God has for you is for you. If he wants this person to go with you, he's gonna make that so that circle will move with you. But you have to know that and you have to believe that whatever God has for me is for me.
That's right.
Number two, you have to be flexible. My baby's gotta do this. At that time, I cut off. I do what I have to for my kids, then I come back and work whatever I have to do later. Number three, you need a circle. And your circle is not going to always be the same. I have a prayer circle. So when I'm going through or I need that backup, I'm going to my prayer circle. And like I told them, I have a Bible study with ladies every week, and like I told them, when the enemy's coming for me, he don't know I got a brick wall standing behind him. So he come to knock me down, but he run into that brick wall, and I just bounce right back like a rubber band. So I'm just like, they shooting me back. So when he comes for me, he don't see my prayer partners. Your circle has to be more than a pretty face.
Absolutely.
You need a circle that understands networking, that understands elevation, that understands we can walk the walk and talk the talk, but what can you really do behind that? Are you successful? Are you able to have an open mindset? Can you take constructive criticism? So through all of that, what God has blessed me with, I never take it for granted.
Absolutely.
I'm always humble. I always say thank you. And I'm always looking to help somebody else.
Well, that is awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that.
You're welcome.
So we are going to shift or switch gears and go to your online influencer. So you're an online influencer. You're dancing, singing, having a great time, being positive, being motivational. How do you build engagement and remain authentic?
So building engagement sometimes is really defining who your target audience is. I'm a middle class woman, I would say, really talking about my age, okay? But number one, you want to find out who is your target audience. Like, who really watches you? You know, what age are the women? Is it the millennials? Is it Generation Z? And we say that, but really the age group that we are talking about. You know, we just use fancier words nowadays. So find your target audience, and then you have to think, what kind of message do you want to send?
Yes.
What is so my message is to empower, inspire, and motivate. I want to empower people all over the world. I want to motivate them and inspire them. However, I want people to understand that even as entrepreneurs, mompreneurs, and business women, we still have to have fun.
Yes.
So we get so serious because life is not always easy, and we're so busy every day. We forget to laugh. We forget to have fun. And so what God showed me was that get back to the basics. So the basics for me, not so much this generation, was growing up outside, roller skating, you know, running and exercise, having fun, just doing those things. So when you see me on social media, you're gonna see me singing old school songs.
Yes.
Because that's what I grew up with my parents. We played old school songs, and that's what I love, so it's dear to my heart. I grew up roller skating. Every Saturday, I was hitting the skating ring. So I started doing that again. I love to ride bike. I ride bike. I get out there with my dog. I just love to have fun and laugh. So for me, that's what I want people to receive. I want them to receive all of this good energy because I have a lot of natural energy. But I also want them to understand you can't be business and serious all the time. You have to learn to have some type of balance in your life. So whatever you love to do, get back to it. Get back to the basics of just living and enjoying life. Life can be stressful. So every now and then you got to bring in your own curveball. So that's why y'all going to see me working out on roller skates, because that's really what I love to do. As far as my audience, I feel like if I can make them smile and give them some energy and show them that I'm able to do it and still live and go through all the things that I go through, that they can do it too.
Absolutely.
So I just want to be like that role model, that person that they can wake up and see her post. Girl, that was right on time for me. Oh, DeBraisha, like when I read my post and people are like, girl, I needed that today. So a lot of times my posts are like, hey sis, you know, because I feel like we all have something that's relatable. You know, regardless of the hats we wear, I just feel like all women have something in them that's relatable to another woman out there.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I love DeBraisha's energy and positivity. She is like this all the time. Like, I mean, this is not a show. This is DeBraisha, and I love it. And I feed off of it. It's just like so inspiring.
Thank you, sis.
So uplifting.
So lots of natural energy. So catch me in the mornings though. Because later on I'm like, ooh, I'm tired. So yes, but lots of natural energy. And I thank God for that. I truly do. And I tell my husband that we're blessed to just have healthy lives. You know, we can get out and do a lot of things because my kids are young and I got to be able to keep up with them.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what is next for DeBraisha T. Hale?
All righty now. Okay. I like how she said that. Woo. Well, number one, as you mentioned, I'm an author. There's some other things that I definitely want to look in with being an author. Children's books and stuff like that. Being that I have a daughter that's autistic, I finally opened up a few years ago and began to share our journey of what that looked like. And what I realized in me sharing our journey, it has not only helped me, but it has helped other people. People will comment. People come in my inbox. They let me know, they have this at Chuck E. Cheese for just Sunday mornings, autistic kids, or this movie theater has. So it has really helped me, and it has kind of made my life a little bit easier when we're doing certain activities, because now I'm aware of what we have access to. So I definitely want to kind of look into that, maybe children's books and children with special needs, because everybody don't have a great support system, just the people I've talked to. And some of them are scared to really step outside. I do everything with my child. We do not keep her from anything, even if the journey is not easy, or that day, or that routine, or we can't make it through the entire movie. We still do it with her, because that's how we learn what she likes. And then we can nurture that. It ain't gonna happen overnight, I'm gonna be honest, but I have seen her progress so much, so that's a blessing to me. I'm also getting ready to branch out really in real estate. The other day I was at the Georgia Day, Real Estate Georgia Day, and so I really want to just branch out into networking and really push that. There's a lot of things that I already have in place for my team to maintain my team, and things that I have been doing, year over year. So now I kind of want to focus on really growing my real estate career.
Awesome.
I'm really interested. Yes, so this weekend will be 3 years that I can celebrate that, and just really wanting to branch out. And I have a few other things coming along, so be sure to stay in tune with me, honey.
That's right.
Yana.
Thank you so much
You're
for joining us
welcome.
today.
You're
You
welcome.
are amazing, and I'm so proud of you.
God is amazing, and
I'm
you're
so
beautiful.
And I'm thankful that God brought us together too.
Me too.
Yes.
This is my sister. This is when I tell you this is my sister, this is my sister. So I always applaud you, and you know that I love you. And this is my soror as well.
Absolutely. Shout out to all the members of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority
Yes.
Incorporated.
Ooh.
Hi, audience. We are back with Dr. Eddie. Thank
Hello.
you so much for coming back, Dr. Eddie.
Absolutely.
So, Dr. Eddie, today we are going to discuss colorectal cancer. And my first question for you is, what are some of the risk factors for colorectal cancer, and how can you decrease the factors?
Okay. First, hello everybody, and it's good to be back. Thank you so much for having me back. Anytime I can share medical knowledge, that's a wonderful thing. We do want to keep people educated and give some information and some tidbits.
Absolutely.
You asked about colorectal cancer. First, there's colon cancer and there's rectal cancer, and we call it colorectal cancer, but it's in two different parts of the actual intestinal tract. Colon cancer is further up into the colon, and the colorectal cancer is in the last few inches of the colon. So, but it's all lumped the same. And it is, believe it or not, I was looking at some statistics, it is the number 4 common cause of cancer deaths. Only behind, and one day we'll talk about this, only behind breast cancer, lung cancer, and then colorectal cancer, and then prostate cancer.
Really?
And I thought that was really interesting that makes up 50% of the cancer deaths in the United States and throughout the world, believe it or not.
And I know we've talked about this before. My mom, she passed away from colorectal cancer.
I'm sorry to hear that.
That is something that's near and dear to my heart.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate you coming on the show and talking and discussing this topic.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that background, let me talk a little bit about risk factors and more about prevention, because as I did research, probably one of the major factors is your hereditary, because your chances of going up of having cancer, for instance, a first and a second cousin increases your chances by about 40%, okay?
Wow.
And a first degree relatives. And what that actually does is then you need to start screening earlier. And even in the article, and being a family physician, I usually study an American Academy of Family Physicians journal, and they referenced the star we lost from the Black Panthers, and because he passed at 43 years old of colorectal cancer. So one of the things you can actually do to prevent or even to head off colorectal cancer is early screenings. As I said, when you start talking about 2 first family members or your parents with colorectal cancer, you need to start screening at the age of 40. So normally the task force recommends that you start screening for colorectal cancer between 50 and 75 years old. That is the normal. That's why we try to get everybody to get in and get a colonoscopy, and we can't quite get them. But that's your magic number, is 50. But when you start talking that you got hereditary colorectal cancer, you need to start earlier. And there were some recommendations out there to start as early as 40 if you got those risk factors. And so then you need to start. And there's multiple ways to be screened. You know, people are a little bit afraid of, how am I going to get screened? I don't want the colonoscopy. Well, you know, I raised my hand, I had my colonoscopy, okay?
Yeah.
So you need to get your colonoscopy. It's not what it used to be. It has transitioned. It used to be they let you stay awake while they actually did the colon.
Oh, goodness.
But now they actually consciously sedate you.
Right.
And you don't even know it. I remember when I had mine, and it was actually one of my buddies who was a GI doctor, and he was like, count backwards by 10, and by the time I hit 8, they were waking me up saying, oh, it's time for you to go. I was like, what? Okay. He was like, you're done. But that's what can happen. So there's no reason to actually be afraid of being screened, which is one of the major preventive. The next thing is that people, I try not to get into this much as a doctor, but bowel habits, and people that you need to have fiber in your diet. So people who are gonna have a prone, and there's no real research to follow this, but people who are prone to have more incidents are people who have abnormal bowel habits. If you're not having, the normal pattern is to have a BM or bowel movement daily. That is a normal pattern because stool has bacteria in it and it has toxins in it. And that's what sort of break down into the wall of the bowel. So that can cause some changes in your bowel wall. So you need to be eating enough fiber, drinking enough water that you're having a bowel movement almost on a daily basis.
Right.
So if you're going from, once a week or once every 2 weeks, something is going on, okay? And you need to start to really look at that because you should be regular. And there's FiberCon, there's Metamucil. Some people are a little bit more reluctant to take some of those, but that gives you the fiber that you're not getting in your diet. And so water, obviously. So one is be on a regular diet. Fruits and vegetables also help you out with that. But in my research, there was like there's no real you can eat this and this is gonna help.
Right.
I did realize that one of the things that the task force said that taking statins, a medicine for Lipitor, decreases your risk of colon cancer.
Really?
Yep. Taking statins decrease your risk of colon cancers. The other thing that will also decrease your risk of colon cancer is not only eating properly and having good bowel movements, but less red meat. And if you eat more fruits and vegetables, more easily digested. So when we talk about meats, red meat is the hardest meat to digest. It's going to be in your intestinal tract. So whatever you eat today, you're actually going to digest it and pass it through your bowels in about 3 days, okay? So red meat increases that time because it takes more energy and more fluids to actually break this down. So it stays in your bowel pattern longer. So if you eat more fish and more chicken, you're actually doing better, okay? If you eat more fruits and more vegetables, you get more fiber into your diet, which will actually help you going through. And these recommendations that we make are not just, just things we throw out there. We say drink 8 glasses of water. Why do we say drink 8 glasses of water? I mean, you're like, oh, that's a huge amount of water, Dr. Eddie. But the reason is your gut takes a lot of water to move things through. And so when you got the adequate amount of water in your gut, then you won't have constipation, you won't have impactions, and it can absorb. And what it does when it have fiber is it absorbs that water and then it helps it to move through your bowel. So you want to do that. So I would say eating properly, regular bowel movements, and get your screenings done. Those are the things that are going to help you the most. And as I said, we can talk a little bit about what are some of the methods. So colonoscopy is only one method, okay? Now, it's most accurate method, okay? So you need to have that somewhere along. But there's also, and I know we've seen this on TV, the little blue box with the man that comes and he drops it off, the Cologuard. Actually, that's a very good screen. You can actually do that screen, but I talked to my GI buddies and they still want you to get a colonoscopy, okay? But you can do the actual Cologuard, and the Cologuard will pick up if you have cancerous cells in your stool. And then there's the hemocoat stool that you can actually use that you can take to your doctor's office. That's a DNA test that you can also do as well. A lot of these tests you can still do at home. And you don't have to go to the doctor's office, or you don't have to actually have this actual physical screen initially to get it done. But there are multiple ways to screen for colon cancer. And so you need to know, one, what's your risk, and two, you at least need somewhere along in there to get it. So I got my first colonoscopy at 50, and I had no polyps or anything in my colon. So I was able to do the Cologuard when it came around to my next colon. So you're supposed to get one every 10 years after the age of 50 until 75. And then that's a little bit of insurance and finesse why we stop at 75. Because if what we figured out is if you've got polyps in your colon, they turn into adenocarcinoma, which is the cancer that turns into colon cancer within 5 to 7 years. And so the task force has decided that if you pass 75 and you don't have any polyps, or if you develop polyps, you're probably going to decease before you actually have colon cancer that's going to metastasize.
Gotcha.
So it's a little bit, okay, we see what we do. We start talking life expectancy, and medicine is a lot of life expectancy. So we start to look at that. But those are some of the ways you can actually deal with colon cancer. But eat good, have good bowel movements, drink a lot of water, and get your screenings. And I think that's the one thing I would say to my audience, or to the audience, get your screenings. If you're coming up on 50 years of age, you need to be talking to your doctor about getting your screenings, whether you're going to do the Cologuard, whether you're going to do the fecal study, whether you're going to do the sigmoid colon. Now, the sigmoid colon is a screen that's like the Cologuard, like the colonoscopy. Now, the colonoscopy is about 46 inches that they go into your colon, okay? And it's a long tube. If you see it before it happens, it's about, probably about quarter of an inch around. And they put you to sleep, and they can run it all the way up into your colon and actually take a look. That, again, that's the gold standard, because they can visualize the inside of your colon and see if you have polyps. If when they do that and they find polyps, then you need to be rescreened every 5 years, because we know that the polyps will grow back and they will turn to cancer. If you got some other factors, they may screen you sooner. But my patients, I generally have them, or the GI have them, come back within 5 years.
Absolutely. Well, once again, thank you. It's always a pleasure having you here, Dr. Eddie. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Let's Talk About It with your agent, Ayana. I hope you enjoyed our conversation today as much as I did. Remember, your feedback matters. So don't forget to like, share, and comment if you found value in today's episode. Stay connected with us on social media at Your Agent Ayana for the behind-the-scenes content, updates on upcoming episodes, and a sneak peek into the life of a State Farm agent navigating the worlds of insurance, health, business, and entrepreneurship. And as we wrap up today, always remember, your dreams are worth protecting. Your well-being is non-negotiable, and your journey in business and in life is uniquely yours to thrive in. Until next time, stay protected, stay inspired, and stay blessed.